4th, 5th, 6th and 7th spot with Keegan Mills, Christo Pinar, Greg Yanel and Mia Gaspar. Mia doing an outstanding job and really flying the flag, as is Nicole Ferry, who's now sitting at 9th. They've just come over the line now, but all eyes are actually focused on the front now. Unfortunately, it's not quite the battle that we had in the first race, but take nothing away from Chris. It's been an outstanding ride. He has been on fire the whole weekend. Nicole as well. I think it's difficult when you losing the toe on the back straight and on the short straight as well to try and stay in the mix. But Chris has executed his racecraft to perfection today. So now he's negotiating his way through the in section in the middle of the track, just off the short straight into that awkward little left-hander, but now fighting his way through the infield. So yeah, we've pretty much over half the lap done, so it's all for Chris now to lose if he wants to throw it down the road, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he has really got this in the bag, and Nicole looking comfortable in second there, and it's going to be a great start to the season for Chris, Nicole and Clinton, who are looking to all take double podiums for the day. So awesome way to start the Monaco series here at Redstar by finishing on the podium. But unfortunately, I'm just waiting now for a bit of footage on that almighty battle happening for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th spot. They are running identical lap times, so it's anyone's guess there who's going to complete the top 5. But looking on the screen now, it's Chris Wright down that long straight. He's managed to break the back of Nicole here. She's not close enough to mount the challenge. So great ride from Chris. He's a massive talent to watch. If anyone thinks I would like to get my company involved in racing, I think this youngster is worth a look. He's got great persona and an amazing talent on a motorcycle. So you couldn't go wrong. If you want to get stuck in with the youngsters here, bring the money, bring the finances, whatever, help these guys go racing. Or if you want to get your youngsters involved, or you have a niece or nephew that you want to go racing with, get stuck into the 300cc class. I think this is the way to go. It's a great breeding ground for the season. And yeah, Chris Wright taking the win, Nicole van Asvierken second, Clinton Furry third. Keegan Mills did a fantastic job to hang on to 4th, with Greg and now 5th, and Christo Pinar losing a little bit there in 6th, with Mia Gaspar in what was that? She finished in 7th. But yeah, she was just a little bit off in that last lap, but maybe a couple of lunges or looks that maybe cost her a bit of drive there. But another great race, no crashes, which was quite impressive. That's another testament to the Redstar Raceway crew and the marshals here, that they're keeping the circuit in pristine condition and controlling things and keeping it as safe as possible, because motorsport is not a safe sport by any means or any stretch of the imagination. If you want to play a safe sport, maybe look at tiddlywinks or golf. But yeah, when you come out racing, it's been a great partnership here with the Monaco Series, Redstar and all the races here, that they've kept the surface in absolute perfect condition so the guys can push here. And like the guys said in the riders briefing now with the 1000cc class, which is up next, that everyone's pushing and looking to do fast times. So yeah, the track has got to be up to the challenge, and so far it has been. So yeah, good on them for a good job. But yeah, outstanding job, Chris Wright. Great double win for the day. Hopefully we can catch up with him later and just get his thoughts on the second race there, as well as Nicole. I mean, the first race was an absolute humdinger with guys bashing bars at every turn. There was a lot of paint swapping. This race may be a little bit different, but don't fault the guys' execution. It was unbelievably planned to take home that double win for the day. Sorry, I think I got a little bit ahead of myself there. Whoopsie. It's not an 8-lap race, it's a 10-lap race. I don't know why I was having a sleep here. So the race continues. Sorry about that, race fans. But yeah, Chris Wright still doing the business out front. Is actually open up a gap on Nicole. So many times have started to drop off, but then again, so is Chris a little bit. Obviously, guys are feeling a bit of tyre wear in the latest parts of the race. Again, apologies for that. I thought we were running 8 laps, but that's in the next heat, possibly. We'll wait to hear from the COC. But yeah, the guys are still pushing hard here. I see we've got that almighty battle between Keegan Moles, Christo Pienaar, Greg Nel and Mia Gaspar is still going on. The gap is minimal. I'm hoping we can get a few shots of that on the track. So yeah, I'm hoping we can get a few snippets of that, because that's an almighty battle out on track. So yeah, it's been a hard race for the guys out there. There's nothing worse that you train a guy and he keeps breaking away, and as hard as you try, nothing is working. It's almost like it's soul destroying, because you're pushing and you pushing it all the way, and we got the checkered flag beckoning. Chris Wright is now working his way around the circuit. Here we go, and he finishes in absolute style. What a champion! Chris Wright has been on rails the whole day. So yeah, great job Monocle Motorcycle Racing Series for bringing the 300s to us. Nicole van Asvierken just crossing the line now, and then we've got Clinton Fourie who's about to cross the line. Great solid lap times put in by all the 3 of these races, whatever. In this heat, in the testing conditions, whatever, they've really been on point today. So good stuff. Here we go. This is what I'm waiting to see. That's Keegan Moles taking the flag. Christo Pienaar, Greg Nel and Mia Gaspar all bring it home. It was a little, not as close as I thought it would be over the line, but you know what, anything can happen. This is racing. Over the line now, here comes Nicole Fourie. Great job by her. She's been flying the flag in the ladies series today like a true professional. So yeah, great job to her. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of her as the series unfolds. And then we're still now waiting for, we've got Oliver McKay, Gianna De Sugas and Hunter Dreyer. Well, I think Hunter Dreyer's called it a day. Unfortunately not the weekend he was looking for. He's an amazing talent, so I'm hoping that, oh, that was close over the line. That was Oliver McKay and Nicole Fourie that brought it home. It was very close actually. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. I'm hoping that we can see Hunter Dreyer get close up the front as the season goes, because he is a massive talent, and I mean he's shown good form in many different series that he's raced, and I mean he's very young as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he can go. Hopefully whatever gremlins he was suffering, they fix it before the next race weekend, because I think he's one of those guys you want to watch that's going to be fighting in the top 5. So yeah, very exciting prospects coming through the ranks, and I mean it won't be long till we see these guys climbing on 600cc machinery and doing battle like the guys we're about to see up next with the 1000cc Superbike class and 600cc class that's brought to you by ASAP. Carl Schultz has got behind the series, and with his son Jared and that, to come out today to come racing and that. And like we said earlier, Jared getting ready to do some good work in Spain and fly the flag. And Spain at the moment is, if you want to be anyone or follow the footsteps of Binder, Rossi, Marquez and that, Spain is where it's happening all at the moment. Those guys have got training camps and programs for racing like you can't believe. It's like completely first world in terms of rider development and bringing guys through the ranks. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that with, I mean, Moto 3, Moto 2 is completely dominated by Spanish riders. I mean, I don't think there's a Sunday weekend where we don't hear the Spanish national anthem on the podium. So yeah, Carl going up into Spain, I think is not only be good for his racing, and I think he'll learn a lot there, but it's going to be great that when he comes back or whatever, to mix it up with these guys. I mean, you only want to keep improving. So if someone is coming back or someone is going faster, it pulls everyone along and everyone tends to go faster together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Jared Schultz can do overseas. But yeah, he's still got to get the next 2 heats under his belt today, and then he's got the nationals tomorrow. So yeah, he's definitely got his work cut out for him before we can start thinking about Spain. I'm waiting to hear now from the COCs whether we're going to cut it to 8 or 10 laps, because I mean that would be quite beneficial to me at this point in time, not knowing the difference between the two. But I was aware, or I did hear that the guys said, look, please have a look at track conditions for now. we're prepared to take two less laps, but please ensure that the track conditions are as safe as possible. So I'll wait to hear if we're going to have 8 or 10 laps. But yeah, the guys are already in pit lane. The views that I'm getting from the side of the pits, whatever, you can see guys are suited up. Tire warmers and that are being monitored. So I reckon any minute now we're going racing. The COCs and that are getting quite animated here behind me. So yeah, any minute we're going to have guys fire out a pit lane and get ready to go racing, which is why we're here in the first place. But yeah, so far can't complain about the level of racing that we've seen today. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and the cream of the crop is still yet to come. Although the bots really put on a good show. I mean, we had Sean Portman take the win, but I mean he was pushed hard by the rest of the field. And I mean we had 22 or 23 bikes on the grid. Unfortunately, Brian Bontekoning having a bit of an off in the first turn in the Masters, which is a bit unpleasant and not a great way to start the season, but that's going to put him out of the Masters and the bots. And I mean, I was having a look at his Panigale R this morning with the wings on it. What a machine, eh? I mean, that's saying green with envy. Obviously, didn't know about Ducatis when they came about that saying, because when you look at the beautiful Italian machinery downstairs in pit lane or whatever, you can't not get jealous. I mean, I rode Ducati for a few years, but yeah, even now I thought, I can move on to something else. Okay, welcome back, Raceday fans. We are getting ready to go racing. We've got the 600cc and 1000cc Superbikes back on track. So there was a bit of a whoops earlier, and the red flag came out, but they sent the 300s out just to allow the guys to get the race prep, tyres changed, get the setup right, and pit lane is now open, and we're seeing guys slowly filtering down onto the circuit, and now it's time to go racing. We've been waiting for the cream of the crop to come out. Unfortunately, the first heat was cut short. Well, not first heat, but just the first section of the first heat. But yeah, it's about to get serious now. I see Keith coming back into studio. Keith, I missed you, bud. But yeah, it's good that these guys are finally back on track. I mean, they've definitely kept us waiting, but I'm pretty sure it'll be worth the wait.
I couldn't miss this race whatsoever. I had to come to the commentary box and join you for this one.
Yeah, it's pretty much the best seat in the house. I mean, it's awesome to be trackside, to get the whole ambiance of the racetrack with the octane in the air and the sounds of horsepower circulating around the circuit and that. But these guys on the live stream of Raceday TV are doing an outstanding job. Eh? I can't remember the last time I watched a South African racing series. We were watching it corner to corner, start to finish.
I mean, I'm just very proud that we managed to do it, and we're very happy for all the support that we've managed to receive from Monaco, and then obviously per class, all the sponsors that came to the party. You know, we've got ASCP World sponsoring this current race. Thank you so much, Carl, for all of that. I just had a brief conversation with Rob Portman, who's quite focused for this race, but he was totally shocked from that first lap of the start of race 1.
Really? What did he say? What did he say?
He was taken aback by the quick times that AJ Mr. Fenter were doing in front there. And he was just like, oh, well, Monet, Alan, everyone's checking out. And he was just, I can't believe, doing 55s or 56s in 10th position.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a 56, you're not hanging around here. It's almost like the holy grail to get under 2 minutes here around the Redstar Raceway. Like, you almost walk with a bit more swag once you break the 2 minute mark. So
it's fast. Yeah. I don't think, for everyone out there, like, I do think people at home need to understand, you know, average racer that come here, if you do anything 2 minutes 10, you're really quick.
Yeah.
Then after that, you get to 2.5, and then beyond that, you get to 2 minutes, and anything below means you're a proper racer.
100%.
You're eligible for a ride somewhere.
And the thing is, you know, like what people, I mean, if you sit in the stands and you're new to racing and that, I mean, they show you all these Fast and the Furious movies where the guy just changes a gear and takes 2 car lengths. It doesn't quite work like that in real life. So if you sit and you say, okay, well, I'm doing a 202, the chances are if you're doing a 202 around this track, whatever, you are going as hard as you can go. Your eyes are telling you you cannot wait any longer. You've got to turn here. You are braking as hard as you can. You are riding the wheels of your bike.
I cannot imagine.
And then you look and say, I need to find another 9 seconds
I can't
to catch up
believe.
with these
I
guys.
mean, we just got information now. I mean, the current lap record holder, our national champion, 6-time national champion, Clinton Seller, has a lap record of 150.3. That is almost 4 seconds than the fastest person on track here.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that is. I don't see anyone getting close to that soon either.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I mean, that's the line in the sand right there. So I mean,
There we see Garrick Flock.
to try and get under the 50 bracket is gonna take some beating, or whatever. But yeah, let's not take anything away from these guys. 53.7 in qualifying this morning, not bad. And I think that the times will obviously drop, and the guys will go a little bit faster as the red mist sits in, the adrenaline starts pumping. The guys will start to find time, especially if you've got someone just in front of you. So there we
Grid's
go.
being cleared, or the grid's being cleared. Everyone off track. We're ready to start race 1 for the second time of the 1600 ASAP World, brought to you live on Raceday.
So I'm not entirely sure if we're going straight to racing now, or is there another sighting lap?
No, I think they're going straight.
Listening
There we
to the
go.
revs.
And AJ again off the line. It seems like a repeat of the first one. Let's see. Are they racing? Is that a lap? They're
are
racing.
So there
They
we
are
go.
racing.
So have we got AJ Fenter back out front again?
Mornay Geldenhuys giving it, going into the second corner, trying on the
He's
outside.
going around the outside. Maybe this works in his favor. Maybe he can stick
Cut
it
it off. There
Look
we
at
go.
that. That's it. Perfect,
That was the
perfect
move.
racecraft.
He
It's-
knew that was coming. That was premeditated,
That was
definitely.
planned. Perfect racecraft. But he showed good pace in the opening stages of the first episode of this heat. So I'll be curious to see now, with him hitting the front of the track, if he can get away from AJ Fenter. Because obviously AJ has done a lot of laps around here, and he's also a very fit guy. So we're going to see how these guys are going to set out in the early stages.
Yeah, I mean, Deon Nelson doing a massive leap, going into 4th position, sticking with the front 3, doing very well out there. Our first 600 is Jared Schultz, at number 11, doing really good times. They're leading the 600 pack. They're all bailing for it. Look at those guys in front now.
Yeah, it looks like
It's a much tighter grouping in this race in the top 4 than the previous one.
Look, we've got a few 600s just off the back of this top 4, and I think there's a bit of a gap there. So it's going to be up to the guys. If they want to make up ground, they're going to have to make moves early. You see there we've got the top 4 flying through, and there's a bit of a battle with the 600s there. Is that not your man Ricardo Otter just sitting off the back there on that orange machine?
Yeah, I think it is. They're doing really good times at the front there. I'd be very interested to see what the second lap times are going to be. I feel they're going faster and faster. I don't know if it's the heat or just the red mist setting in, but they are definitely pushing to the limit on this one.
Look, it's tough now. I mean, this is going to be the first lap that's been thrown down off like in anger.
Oh, there's something happening going in there. Is it Flock making a move? It
making
does.
a move.
Going into the chicane. Is he going to hold it, sticking it out to the left?
So AJ Fenter is having his
There we
feathers
go.
ruffled a little bit here in the opening stages. So it's going to be good to see how he comes back from this. Over the
There
line
we
we go.
go.
Top 4 over the line.
As it stands. Oh, there's
We've got a
another.
man down. Is it looks like Dion Nelson's gone out. Is that Dion Nelson falling out? He is. He's out of the time sheet. Yeah.
Mornay Geldenhuys leading the
at
race.
the back of the dog bone, Dion Nelson's gone down. Oh, heartbreak. It's his first race on the 1000, and obviously it's not the way he wanted to open his account. But he looks
in
like
the
he's up
front
and
here.
okay. So back up front here, we've got Mornay Geldenhuys leading the
Garrick
way.
Flock doing really well. I think he's planning a move. I'm pretty sure he's going to try and do that right hand into the chicane again. He seems to be setting himself up there. He's really late on the brakes.
Look, I'll be honest with you. If I was Mornay Geldenhuys and I turned around now, I would. I'd be very nervous if I looked over my shoulder and saw Garrick Flock coming, because this man is win it or burn it, and he's wild. So yeah, if Mornay has, and I mean, there we go already. Look how he's looking at different
He's
lines,
right there.
trying to find a way where he can sort of just get alongside, just to maybe intimidate Geldenhuys. It's going to be interesting to see, but I can assure you, before this lap is out, Garrick Flock is going to try and make a move.
Yeah, back the 600 leading the pack is Ricardo Otter. He's moved himself into 7th position there, with Jared Schultz at 9, pushing as hard as they can. It's a really good battle in between the 1000s, the 600s.
100%.
Really good effort there. Down the Tariq also following hot on their heels in 9th position with his 600. So the 600s finishing off the top 10 basically.
You know, he's also having a good ride. If you look further down the field, is Adrian van Dalen, because he was complaining when I chatted to him earlier that his qualifying didn't go quite according to plan and he was down in 17th. But he's made some big moves up here in the opening stages. He's already up into 13th, which is almost a championship spot. Is that AJ Fenter now back up the move? Sorry, just to jump. AJ Fenter is now back up into 2nd place. So Flock has been relegated down to 3rd. So this race is definitely going to go the distance, and these guys are not scared to hold back.
Crossing the line then again there. Morné Geldenhuys leading. Alan John Venter in second. Garrick Flock in third. Dylan Barnard in fourth. And Damien Perifacati in fifth place. Ricardo Otto really hauling in this race in sixth position. And Jared Schultz just right behind him in seventh position.
Jared Schultz has made up a lot of ground because a lap ago he was a couple places back. So he's obviously coming through the field like a man possessed. Because he's made up a lot of space. So, yeah, Ricardo Otto is going to have to push because obviously it's on in the 660
I think
class.
they're really getting into it. I mean, Jared practicing for his Spanish trip later on in this month. He's ready to go and tackle the Spanish series. We'll be sure to catch up with him. But back to the racing action. I feel like John Venter is coming back into it. He's really getting into his
He's finding the rhythm.
momentum
Look
now.
at the ground he's made up there on that short straight. But Flock also just trying to
Dive
run up an
bomb,
inside
Flock.
line. I don't know if he's looking to dive bomb or just put a wheel in or just tell the guys, listen, I'm here. Don't forget about me. And let's not forget about Dylan Barnard, who's sitting just off the back there in fourth spot. I can pretty much guarantee that he's not going to sit there for the whole race. I think he's waiting for these guys to tire each other out or trip each other up, and he's going to be in there with a move. So he's probably in the best seat of the house at the moment. He's not wasting his tires. He's not getting overexcited like these guys are on the front. He's just biding his time and just waiting for the right moment. He's just got to make sure he doesn't drift too far off the back of that group.
No. The top five actually being covered by 900th of a second. It's so close.
Unbelievable.
It is close racing out here at Redstar in the Monaco round one with the 1600 ASOP World.
And AJ again, but I mean, where did he come from? Look how far he came back on the brakes here, but he is carrying corner speed off that back straight. That's obviously his secret weapon going into this weekend because he made the move there a lap earlier on Garrick. He's now made the move there again on Morné, and he hits the front. So Alan John Venter leads across the line now, 3 laps into this race.
It's a new best lap just set by him, set in first place. He goes up to first, leading it with a 1:53.97.
It's not hanging around.
That guy has no time to waste apparently, and he is ready to check out. I'd be very surprised if the two in second and third place keep a hold of him. He's not going to tow them around for much longer. You can see already he's taking his opportunity to create a gap in the front, and he's going to leave the second and third place to fight it out.
Look, don't write them off just yet, but I think if Garrick and Morné get stuck into each other here, that's going to play right into Alan John Venter's hands, because as soon as these guys start dicing and tripping each other up, he's going to be able to escape at the front. So, and here we go. Garrick Flock up the inside. Is he going to make it stick?
I get surprised every time he just puts his nose in there, late on the brakes, if at all.
I wasn't sure if my eyes deceived me, but was there maybe a yellow flag waving in the background there as he made the move? Like I said, I'm getting old age. There's a good chance cataracts has kicked in. But as he made that move, whether it was his yellow Yamaha distracting me or there was a yellow flag, that could be interesting to see.
Ran a bit wide.
But it's on now, and this is actually playing into Alan John Venter's hands. These guys going at each other like this, tripping each other up, is exactly what he would want. Although not done and dusted yet. Garrick Flock has found a bit of pace in the back part of the section.
Cliffy, I just wanted to make a comment of Adrian van Dalen again. You said earlier he had a bit of a sloppy start and all that kind of stuff, but he's just done a 1:59.3. I think that might be his personal best year. I feel that he's really had a lot of seat time training in off season, and it's showing. I feel he's really
guy
fast.
is fit. I mean, if you look at him, there's not the body fat percentage is very, very low. And look, he said to me he'd like to get down to the 58s and 57s. That's his personal goal.
Another best lap for John Venter.
These guys are just going. And the thing is, Alan John Venter's put in a personal best lap, but he hasn't dropped Garrick Flock at all. Garrick Flock is still hanging in there, and Morné Geldenhuys is just biding his time, I feel like he's also not getting excited. Unfortunately, Dylan Barnard seems to have lost a toe from these guys. So, although I think we've actually lost Dylan Barnard. Where is he gone?
Dylan Barnard.
Damon Perifacati is now up into fourth with Jared. He's falling down the grid. What has happened to Dylan Barnard? That's devastating, because
something happened there. 63 is also off.
Very, very, very
That is Dylan Barnard. He obviously went off track. We obviously didn't see that. We apologize. Just another one. Man in second place, number 64. Oh, there he is.
His man down, unfortunately.
I hope he's okay there.
It looks like he's doing okay, but unfortunately he's just thrown his ego into the scenery there, which is so disappointing, because he really was in with a shot there of a podium. And I mean, with the way these guys are going up here in the front, it was definitely on the cards for him. So very disappointing. But like you were saying, you were commenting on the guys further down. Jared Schultz. I see Damien Purificati's recovered from a bit of a flat start. He's now up into 4th, and he's got his times into the 156s. So he's starting to find a bit of rhythm and starting to come good. As we're watching Garrick Flock line up AJ Fenter at any given opportunity. Yellow flag is out there, so obviously that means if the yellow flag is out, you cannot overtake. If you overtake on that part of the track, because obviously there's an obstruction there, then either you need to give the position back, but if you don't give the position back, it could result in quite a severe penalty. And you know, with safety and that sort of thing in the mix, you know, you don't want to be taking chances when there's potential hazards on the side of the circuit or on the circuit. There was a move there. Was it someone going around the outside? I think it was. I think Mornay might have just made it stick.
We must have something there. Let's have it.
AJ?
Yes, so Garrick Flock is in second place.
Garrick Flock
He just
is still
set
holding on
the
there.
fastest lap of the race at 53.4.
So maybe going back to that with the yellow flag waving there, maybe that was the yellow flag.
600 litres
so
passing there
Jared
now.
Schultz is now over the line. He's obviously gotten past Ricardo Otto, but Ricardo Otto is not letting go. Hey, they're both running almost identical lap times in the 156 bracket, but obviously Jared's done a good job to catch up because he had quite a bit of racing to do, but he's got a bit of clear track in front of him now. So interesting to see, will Ricardo be able to stay with him? And already there, as we're looking there, you see the orange bike of Ricardo. There's a bit of a gap forming, so he's gonna have to get his head down and bum up if he wants to stay with Jared.
You can see there, top 4, 1000 cc's. After them, 4 600 cc's. And from 9th position is another 1000 with Luca sticking it in there with his number 7 R1.
Look, I'll be honest, Lucas actually impressed me a lot, because he came in here saying that he's not feeling as strong as he can be, but he's just going to come out here, race and see what happens and have fun. And running a 9 spot doing 57s.
I mean, having fun at 57 is definitely a good day out at the office.
100%. I mean, I'd give my right arm to throw in those kind of lap times. But if we look now, it looks like AJ's might have just eked out a small gap, and the battle now is on for 2nd and 3rd place. Mornay's he's stalking Garrick. Obviously, they can't make the pass here. Like I said earlier, the yellow flag is in. But what's going to happen here on the back straight? Both are on R1 machinery, so they should be almost like for like coming off the back straight there. It's just going to be who's the bravest on the brakes. And obviously, a bit of technician bragging rights there. Look at that, side by side, it was almost elbows out.
He loves lining it up in the chicane there on the right hand.
Mornay's not letting it go, hey, just trying to find another line around, and we saw earlier, he's not scared to go around the outside. Oh, look at Garrick, hey, getting a bit.
They're pushing very hard,
he's
Cliffy.
pushing the wheel there, the front wheel in the air. These guys are not playing games.
Times going there. Alan John Fenter did a 153.76 in that one. That's just fishing. He's not letting out.
Yeah, look, he's actually, if we have a look at the lap times there, he's pulled a bit of a gap on Garrick. And Mornay, they're both pulling 54s there, so it's starting to get away. But oh, look at that! Take that! Get out of the way.
Excuse me, coming through, sir.
We've seen this in modern day racing. You know what? It's not about the gap. It's about making the gap. And Mornay made the gap there. I'm sure Garrick's not going to be too chuffed with that because that was harsh. I think the friendship is over before it even started this season.
No, absolutely. There's also no friendship, love, or loss between Jared Schultz and Ricardo Otto, with Jared in 5th position, leading the 600 pack at this stage, with close Ricardo following with that bright orange bike just behind him.
Look at Garrick there. You see, it seems like he's got a bit of better pace on that short straight. It's now all comes down to the drive, but as they come through that tight left, almost like you double apex it, because the guys tend to hug the inside there. But going onto that short straight, Garrick tends to find a bit of momentum and close the gap up. You see now, he's right on the back wheel. So these guys they're showing that they're stronger in some areas and not in others, and it looks like Garrick has got it in the infield, so it's going to be interesting to see when we come down to the last lap, who's gonna make the first move and where are they going to make it.
Yeah, we're going into the fast lap now.
Has Garrick made a mistake? Has Garrick made a mistake there? It looked like he got a bit out of shape. It looked like he'd run it a little bit wide. So we're looking, AJ having a look over his shoulder.
Something happened to Flock. He's out of the picture there.
He's off.
No.
Come on, Garrick. Like I said, he lets it
well.
all hang out on the track. This guy is, not, and we get a glimpse of Dion there watching the racing as close as can be. But Garrick lets it all hang out on the line, and that's the one thing you got to give him. He's a racer. He doesn't come here and think about championship points. He comes here and thinks about positions and podiums.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, just got in too hot there. It's so unfortunate, but he has rejoined the race. But I think he's out of that second place battle. So, AJ Fenter doing the job.
Okay, cool. So we're into the final lap now. This is the final lap of the race of race 1 for the 1600 ASAP World, brought to you live on Raceday.tv. This is an 8-lap race for you at home, and they're on the last lap now, I believe. Still leading the race, Alan John Fenter second, Mornay Geldenhuys third, Damien Perifakati.
Yeah, he's got it.
He's got it in the back. He
Yeah.
must be so happy with those times. The consistency, pushing, he really pushed.
But hats off to Mornay and Garrick. Eh? They came out to race. They mixed it up at the front. They mixed it up for second and third. And yeah, Garrick was quite prepared to put it all on the line. Unfortunately, it just didn't work in his favour. But yeah, unfortunately, the race has been settled a little bit before the flag. But yeah, take nothing away from these guys. They have pushed to the limit on their tyres and on their 1000cc machinery.
Yeah, up into fourth space now. Obviously, Jared Schultz doing his fourth and winning or going through as first of the 600 at this point, with Ricardo Otto going into second in the 600s, with Reino Peturius in third place with those 600s.
I see, sorry to interrupt you, Kid. I see Garrick is in the box, so looks like he's
Race
pitted.
done.
He's not going to see the end of the race. So obviously, maybe not a talent issue, maybe a technical issue that's put him out, which is disappointing. I mean, he's come all the way through the race and pushed, but unfortunately not going to take any points away there. So that's a bit disappointing. But yeah, there's a few good battles. What is our man Rob Portman doing? I mean, he's been hanging on to a top 10 finish, running 59s.
I mean, top 10 finish with 59s just tells you the whole story.
Yeah.
This is one of the fastest grids ever. Well done to our winner, Alan John Fenter in first place, second Mornay Geldenhuys, third Damien Perifakati, and then fourth Jared Schultz taking first in the 600 class with Ricardo Otto, Reino Peturius and Garrick Fluck. He came in, he finished in 7th. That's
Yeah.
classified, I believe.
Seems
That's
like it.
fine. We'll see if that's a correction or not, but after that we've got Luca Bertolini, Tarek van der Merwe finish up the 600s in the mid-pack there at 9th position, Robert Portman in 10th position, and yeah, that's the top 10.
I mean, it's amazing to see Keith here as we're rounding up the top or the finished results here. Of the top 5, we had 2 600s sitting 4th and 5th.
And look at those times. Let's just say, so Jared Schultz's top time is 156.438 for 600. That is phenomenal. That's very good, and obviously speaks testament why he's able to go and race in the SPK Spanish League.
I mean, it speaks for itself. You can see that these guys he's a massive talent already. So yeah,
there's no stopping these young men.
I'm glad to see he's getting the opportunity to go over to Spain and to ride. Good move, step in the right direction. But yeah, he's definitely shown his class here today. And it looks like as I'm sitting here now, you see Garrick Flock is falling down, so it's not classified.
Yeah.
He's going to finish out of the points, which is very unfortunate. But our man Rob Portman jumped up into 8th, so I think we've lost someone else. Is that Tarek van der Merwe that's gone missing? I think it has.
He's
Also out.
He's also off track. So we actually had a few not fit DNFs on that race there. Tariq, Greg Waddington, Dylan Barnard, Mike Newland. There's a few guys that didn't make it. Tyron Piper also off track somewhere.
Tyron Piper, that's who went down in the first heat. It was Tyron Piper that went down. I don't know, like I said, I heard it was the starting lap, but I also heard it was lap 1. So all
Not
rumors
sure
at
what
that
happened
stage.
there.
But yeah, that was unfortunately the crash that brought the first episode of this saga to you
Was
with
that
the
not
red flag.
Matthew Herbert?
It wasn't Matthew Herbert. Apparently Matthew Herbert was standing on pit wall, so I don't know what happened there. Very disappointing that he wasn't out on track. But yeah, guys said that he wasn't racing. So it makes sense why we missed him on the time sheet.
Someone else taking his suit and his motorbike for a spin.
Anything's possible, hey? You know,
This
we're in
is
Africa.
racing.
So yeah, so it looks like Garrick Flock and Tarek van der Merwe losing out there in the final stage of the race, which is disappointing. As well as Dylan Barnard, no finish, and Dion Nelson as well. So, you know, we started off with a great field, but we've only got 15 riders finishing.
You see, this is the unpredictability and the spontaneity about racing.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. You know, you can be leading a race for 10 laps.
Yeah, 100%. Also, you could be lining up on the grid and have pole position, and I've been there a couple times or a few times in my life, whatever. And you line up on pole position, and you think, yeah, you got this waxed, and it just takes a split second of you having a nap or being preoccupied or backing off for no reason to completely change your game plan.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, it's done and dusted. Like, there's no do-overs. There's not PlayStation like,
No,
we restart, we
it's
try
done.
again.
You're out,
That's
you're
the
out.
hand you've been dealt. And yeah, unfortunately there you've got to recover, and sometimes to recover is not as easy as it seems in the Disney movies, like the Mighty Ducks and the
No,
whole
of course
palaver
not.
that goes on there. You know, this is real life, and racing can be harsh sometimes. So yeah, you think pole position, I've got this in the bag, but it's not done and dusted until the final checkered flag of the day drops.
Until the fat lady hoists a checkered flag.
Exactly that.
Cliffy, I'll see you after my break. I'm going to have to quickly run and do some onboard footage stuff.
Okay.
Keep up the good job.
Sweet, man. I'll miss you, Keith.
For everyone who just needs to make sure, if you can't find our live stream on Facebook, it is definitely on YouTube at raceday.tv. Find us there. Share the link. It's live, and you can watch all the racing action right here from Redstar and the Monaco Round 1.
100%.
See you later, Cliffy.
Keith, I'll miss you. Also, if you guys see Keith out and about, just remember that today is his birthday. So if you could all give him a bear hug at some point during the course of the day, that would be fantastic. So I think a booby squeeze. Yeah, we could go with booby squeeze or bum squeeze. I mean, Keith is he's quite an understanding and forgiving guy, but it's always better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, if you see him out and about, wish the man a happy birthday. He's out here doing what he loves on his birthday, so I couldn't think of a better way to spend it. But yeah, keep up the good work there, Keith. Flying the Raceday TV flag very high. So up next, I'm waiting for Rob Portman. Obviously, they're going to have to peel him out of his race suit. I'm pretty sure they're going to have him on an IV drip coming back in here, because obviously age is not on his side, and he was also running pretty fast lap times. Don't tell him I said that, but yeah. So we've got the Street Bike Heat 2 up next, and yeah, I'm sure Rob will probably take us through that. But while we wait for Rob to get undressed and get ready for TV, Colin Hume took the first race win, and remember, these guys will line up on the grid according to their qualifying, not according to how they finish the race. It's all according to how you qualify. So we've got 19 bikes that are ready to go racing and firing out of pit lane. Pit lane is now open, so everyone rushing to get out. I think that's where the adrenaline really gets going, is when they blow that whistle. There's no time to lose. You've got to get the tire warmers off the stand, zip up your suit, have that last drink of water, and get out onto track in 30 seconds. Otherwise you mess it up and look like a complete plonker starting from pit lane, which is not ideal, because you're never going to make that time up. Although there are guys that have done it in the past, but with the level of competition here today, it's very unlikely. So yeah, we've got the street bike class on track for the second heat. This is also, like we saw in the 600 and 1000cc, this is a complete mix of motorcycles. It's also the feeding ground for the guys to come out and race. So we've got guys here like Colin Hume. I mean, he's not sticking around. He put in 206s during the course of today on his BMW 1000R. But then we've got guys right down the field. There's a nice battle going in here from the 213 bracket right down to 218, where that's anywhere from 4th place right down to about 16th or 17th. So, you know, there's dicing all the way down the field, which is what people want to see. And also as a racer, you don't want to come to a racetrack, line up on the grid, there's only 5 of you, and then you go around like a procession. You want to get stuck in, you want to dice guys. Even if you're fighting at the back and you're fighting for last place, it's something to fight for. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone that finishes in last place in a great dice that doesn't come off with a smile in his face. Like, I mean, all you people sitting at home thinking, but I can't go racing and it's not really my thing and it's too expensive and all sorts. I don't think there's a person I know that doesn't enjoy going go-kart racing on a Saturday. If you enjoy go-kart racing or racing each other with lawnmowers, bicycles, whatever, if you're a cyclist and you enjoy the thrill of that sprint at the end of a race, get a motorcycle and come racing. It's not as expensive as you think, and with the Monaco series here making it a family orientated event, there's somewhere for everyone to race. I mean, I see down here on the timesheet we've got Chris Marie Sleerbusch. Now she's sitting in 16th place. This is her first time on a 600. She's been riding the 390 class and the smaller CC classes, doing a lot of short circuit, doing that sort of thing. But I mean, I raced with her father 3-4 years ago, and I reckon the first time I remember meeting her father, we had a humdinger at turn 5 at Swartkorps. So I mean, if you feel like you want to race, you want to get your kids involved, you want to get your auntie involved, your granny involved, and she doesn't want to race wheelchairs just yet, get a motorcycle. This class, there's even guys going out with lights flickers and mirrors. You fold your mirrors in, you tape up the lights, you go racing. Anyone can go racing. So don't, if you're sitting on the couch there and you think, I wish, and you do track days and you think about it, you're only going to regret it if you don't do it. So get your motorcycle, come and race. We see that's number 24. That is, have a look here at number 24. Oh, my eyes are failing me here. But what a, that's Donovan Moorman. What a factory-looking bike. Reminds you of the old Tony Elias days with the 24. And then we've got obviously a 46 fan. Not only is the helmet in Lumo and the rims, but also that very, very recognizable Valentino Rossi number 46. And we'll have a look here on the timesheets. You know, unfortunately, new season, new livery, it's difficult. That's Marlo Ferreira. So he's up into fourth. So he's on the second row. As you look at the grid now, we flash through. The FIM rules, I mean, it used to be back in the old days, they used to line up on the side there and push, start, and go. That's where, like, Ron Haslam got his name Rocket Ron. It's because he was so fast at push starting his bike and getting going. But obviously, over the years, we used to have 4 bikes on the front row. Now it's down to 3. That's the new FIM regulations. It's not a new thing. It's been for a couple of seasons. So your front row is first, second, third, and then you've got fourth, fifth, and sixth, and then from there just multiples of 3, which I still don't seem to get the hang of. Because these days I qualify so far down the grid, I need to take off my shoes and socks to count where I am. But this is not about me, this is about the racing. It's about to happen on track, and the grid is being cleared. The guys are getting ready. So we've got Colin Hume on pole position on that BMW 1000, and Lloyd McGill, I actually chatted to him earlier. I think he's actually on a 600. He's been on the 600 for a long time, but that's a love affair that's been going on for seasons. And you know, when Lloyd has a bike that's working for him and it's underneath him, he is unstoppable. Great racer, not scared to get the elbows out. So keep an eye on Lloyd there in the middle of the grid on that, what's that, turquoise. It almost matches Rob Portman's boots in the middle of the grid there. And then we've got Tion Foucher that's sitting third. And then I see we've got also a gap there sitting just on the second row in the middle. So someone's gone missing, which has obviously now caused a bit of confusion. You see there's a bit of a shuffle on the grid, which, it never makes life easy when there is a shuffle. Guys sometimes get confused, and then also you've got people moving around, which can be unnerving, but we're ready to go racing. Guys are down behind the screen, and away they go. We are racing. This is the Ride Fast Street Bikes series, and good clean start. Everyone is away off the front of the grid, and looks like they are cleanly through turn 1. Is that Lloyd McGill on the 600 that's hit the front? I think it is, but Colin Hume not wasting any time, fighting straight back. Good move. Oh, I think he might have just slowed up Lloyd's momentum there, but at the moment now running a very defensive line, so not giving Lloyd the chance to fight back. You know, Valentino Rossi always said it, as soon as someone overtakes you, the best thing you can do is overtake them straight back and don't let them settle into a rhythm, and that's exactly what we saw there. Good racecraft from Colin. He is out front now and flying on that BMW. It's going to be difficult now for Lloyd to hang on the coattails through the short straight, but I'm hoping that Lloyd can stick on his coattails through that tight infield and make up a bit of ground, because if he's not in the slipstream on that back straight, it's going to be a massive advantage for the BMW man up front. So just behind them we've got Christian Niemand, Henk Kruger, and Tion Foucher has lost a bit of ground there. I think he's going to be kicking himself after that start, but it is a bit of a spread out field in the opening stages. Obviously everyone has tried to make positions up. We saw that Tion Foucher has just lost a bit of ground. That also creates a bit of space on the grid. So, you know, it takes a couple laps, or a couple corners at least, and then a couple laps to try and close the gap. But Colin is out front early, and he's having it all his own way. So I'm hoping that Lloyd can fight back somehow, and we can make it a race, because we need to see what Colin's made of. I mean, we've seen already in the first heat that he can lead a race out front. But how well can he do if we put a bit of pressure on him? So I'll be very curious to see if someone can just get up close what Colin is made of. But there's a move being happening. See, this is unfortunate. Lloyd is being completely undone on that 600 on the back straight. And that's the disadvantage of when you're riding a 600cc machine around this track. Through the infield in the tight section, from turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then before the back straight, you're in with a shout. You can carry the corner speed, go around the outside, stick your nose in, get stuck in. But if you're not in a favorable position onto the short straight and the back straight and the main straight, which is all pretty much on towards the end of the lap, you're going to lose out quite a few bike lengths. So yeah, very difficult for Lloyd. I see he's lost that second place, but here we go. He's hanging in there and not giving it up just yet. We've got Marlon Ferreira now up into second place, but I think he's going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to break away from Lloyd. If we look further down the field, we've got finish at the top 10. We've got Nico Beloy, who's having a good ride, putting in a time of a 2:20 and showing a bit of pace against Donovan Muman, who's just slightly ahead of him. So there's a potential battle happening further down the field for that top 10 position. We've also got Joachim Fenter sitting in 14th with Jason Ludlow, that running also very similar lap times, just on about the 2:30 bracket, which around the circuit in this heat is a good testament to the quality of riding we're seeing in the street bike class. And again, the guys have come out, they've put their money where their mouth is, they've come out and come racing. So yeah, good to see. Chris Marie Sleerbush also running in the 2:30 bracket, and then she's sitting in 16th, so she's going to be pushing hard to try and get into that prestigious top 15th place, because in your World Series, MotoGP, World Superbikes and that sort of thing, where you don't necessarily run classes and that, the guys score points. It's 25 points for a win, 20 points for second, and then they scale it down, but 15th place is your last championship point. So yeah, whenever you go racing, if there's a big field of 20-30 bikes, you want to try and be in that top 15 spot, so at least you can nurse the ego and say, look, at least I'm good enough to score a championship point in the overall. I'm actually glancing out the window here now, and I think that is Dylan Barnard's bike that's coming in, that's looking very, very second hand, but we'll see if we can grab that later in the show. Let's get back on track now with the street bikes in Heat 2, and Tian Fischer now at 4 spots, just come over the line. But Colin Hume is not hanging around. He's now just punched in at 2:06.4, and he's about a second and a half quicker than anyone else on the track at the moment. So he's definitely having it all his own way. We've just got to make sure that he's keeping it on 2 wheels all the way home, because when you're in a race scenario, I don't know if he's got pit boards out in the wall for him telling him what's happening behind him. Sometimes you tend to imagine, especially with this track with a lot of hairpins around there, you tend to pick up engine noise behind you, and you tend to think that there might be someone shadowing you, which can sometimes force you into an unnecessary mistake, which happens. But yeah, hopefully someone's communicating to him now, saying, look, calmly hold station, hold it together, you've got this nice comfortable lead, and just manage it from there. Because yeah, anything can happen. If you start to think someone's behind you, you could be running defensive lines that you don't need to run, and using different parts of the tire, which if you're using the same set in the second heat, is not as fresh as heat 1, so sometimes you could have a bit of a tire issue. The tire might let go, but look, to be honest with you, around Redstar, I've never really picked up tire issues in the first 2 heats. But guys in this class, whatever, could be running second-hand tires or tires that have done more than 1 or 2 races, because in the street bike class, you can really make your tires and equipment work. You don't necessarily have to come out on new rubber every time. I know a lot of guys that race second-hand rubber or make their front tires run 2 or 3 races and get away with it. I wouldn't recommend it. New rubber is always the best option, and if you don't trust the rubber, then rather don't go out. But yeah, these guys, they make their tires last. It's racing on a budget. Obviously these guys don't want to go up spending millions of rands on going racing, but they still want to compete. So take nothing away from them. So you might find a few guys here that would be on second-hand rubber, which at this part of the race and this kind of heat or whatever could be a little bit tricky. So anything can happen. Look at this, as I look now on screen, there's an almighty battle here happening. If you look through there, I'm just trying to see who that is, but that's a Suzuki with a headlight. So someone has still got their bike in road trim and coming out racing, and that thing had a turn of pace up that back straight. The guys now negotiating their way through that final chicane, which on TV doesn't really do that corner justice. Like I said earlier, if you get in there too hot, you scrub up so much drive coming onto the straight, and by the end of the straight you could have 2 or 3 bikes breathing down your neck because you've lost a few kilometers by charging the corners. So that corner, you've got to be so strategic and methodical in the way that you approach it, because it's all about the drive out of the corner. It's not how fast you get in, it's how fast you get out, and that's whether you're on a 600 or 1000. So yeah, it's not an easy corner, but this track is very technical. So there's a lot of corners here that make you think about what's coming up ahead. If you get into a tight situation, or you charge the first hairpin, and completely miss your apex or go in too early. By the third hairpin, you're going straight through the grass. So yeah, it's a very technical track, but a good learning track. You learn to think ahead, you learn to plan your attack as the race goes on. So those lunges as you go into a race where you sit behind a guy and as he leaves you a gap you think, should I, shouldn't I? This track sort of eliminates that whole thing, because you've got to plan your method of attack, you've got to make it work, maybe sit behind a guy for a little bit and then see where he's weak and then plan it from there and work towards that 4 corners time. I know he leaves a bit of a gap on the entry or whatever, that's where I'm going to do him, and then carry the corner speed and work, get as close as you can and get right up the tailpipes of your opponent, so that as you get into that section, you make the pass and you make it stick rather than run wide or lunge and get out of shape. But back up front here, we've got Colin Hume. I mean, yeah, he's head and shoulders above the rest at the moment. But Marlo Ferreira, Lloyd McGill doing a great job. Lloyd now down into the 209, so under the 210 bracket. And then Tian Fisher, he's done the 208, but yeah, I'm looking to see now, he's a little bit off the pace. So, you know, if he can find a little bit more time, he could be there or thereabout. But Colin Hume over the line now, Marlo Ferreira, Lloyd McGill and Tian Fisher, they've all crossed the line now. So we are 4 laps in, they are now pushing into that 5th lap. So we've still got a lot of racing to go. I'm looking at the bottom now as well. We've got, let's have a look here, we've got Dylan Pinkerton, Paul Devereaux and Sean Peterson, who unfortunately didn't make it to the grid. So maybe we'll try and catch up with them later on and just find out what happened there. It's a bit disappointing, but still we've got 17 bikes roaring around the Redstar Raceway in anger and doing a great job. And it's a bit of a split race where the guys have managed to open up gaps in that, but the guys, you can bet your last 50 cents that these guys are pushing their bikes to the limit. And I mean, they're doing a great job keeping their ground on their feet. And I mean, again, 17 bikes have come out and into the class to come out racing. And oh, there we go, someone's gone off. We've got someone just going into the, before the end straight, we've got someone running off there. Unfortunately, I can't see a number, but you know, this is exactly what happens when you're pushing. You know, TV doesn't do it justice. When you look at it, you think, these guys are going so slow. But climb on board a motorcycle and ride around this Redstar and you realize how technical it is. He's gotten going again, but unfortunately he's lost a few places. Also, he's dirtied up the tires. So it's going to take a few corners for him to get all the loose grass and stones and everything off there. So I wouldn't recommend that he whack it straight onto the track, and rather just get those tires clean before starting to push again. But he's up and going. I just can't get a number on that, unfortunately. But yeah. So I'm having a look here on my time monitor to see if we've lost anyone. I think it might be Christian Niemand that's run off there on number 22, which a bit disappointing, because I mean he was in a top 7 spot, but yeah, just getting in a little bit too hot and maybe just getting too hard on the brakes here and getting out of shape, which it happens. We're here to race, and every once in a while you give yourself a cook moment, and sometimes that's what leads you into the wilderness. And like I said, a top 10 position, which is on the electronics of that BMW work hard. Over the line he goes, and we're looking at another 4 laps to go. Some can create a bit of confusion, and you never know what happens. It's never ideal for a race leader and a back marker to come together. So